All right, so here are 5 steps to generate ideas for content. First, gather materials. Like this is no brainer, but it is an important and the first step. You have to gather materials, and like in these slides, like so I have about 29 or 30 slides. I think about 15 slides are pure information for you guys to figure out from where you can gather the data and gather material. So I will give that very clear steps on where you can gather good material. The next is find relationships with your materials. Now this is important. Like people can gather data, but if you don't correlate or connect the dots, it doesn't matter. So you first gather material and then find relationships within your material. So you could gather data, categorize it, create different subsections and sections, and keep it with you. And just let it, like sink in. So when I say like sleep over your thoughts, I literally mean you gather everything, you create the relationships that you have, and then you just like end your day, like, or at least for that day, don't do anything else. Sleep over, and this has really worked, at least for me, and a lot of researchers talk about this method, where if you sleep over, your unconscious mind will do the work, and then it'll connect these dots that you have, but also give you the exact thing that you need to focus on. So what happens is, a lot of people, when they create content, they think about too many different areas rather than like they forget the power of one. What is the power of one? You need to have one product, one offer, one content, one big idea. And all of this content generation has to be focused on that one big idea. What is it that you really want to deliver to your customer? And then you start gathering the data. Number 4, constantly think about your work. And like in the next slide, I have a simple story on what had happened for the law of gravity when Newton had discovered it, and like you will understand exactly what I mean by constantly think about your work. It's purely, you just don't leave your work and then forget about it. You have to constantly think about it so that you have a pure related idea. And then once you have thought about it, you have your idea and you feel good about it, you reveal the idea to the world, allow others to give their thoughts for improvement. You need to have critics, you need to have other people who validate your idea. A lot of times we think something, this is a good idea, and then we start implementing it immediately, and that doesn't work because the customers and the people are not buying it. So you need to make sure that the people, you're testing the idea before you really launch it in a big scale.